Proverbs 24:3. Through wisdom a house is built, and by understanding it is established.
Right. So basically, you got to have a solid foundation in this thing, and it's done through what? The milk. You know, you have because the scriptures say, you know, you got to desire the sincere milk of the word. You got to get all the basics down, man. You know, you build yourself up in the basic things of the scriptures, and that's going to be the keys to unlock the understanding of the more difficult and advanced topics. And if you don't have a solid foundation, you know, you ain't going to be able to teach anything. Because the scriptures tell you how that any man that uses milk is unskillful in the word of the Most High. So, you know, you got to have a strong, sturdy foundation. You know, the elders have paved the way through the Spirit to show us how to build a sturdy foundation, how to do things the proper and correct way when it comes to studying. Okay.
So Proverbs 24:3. Through wisdom is an house builded, and by understanding is it established. And by knowledge shall the chambers be filled with all precious and pleasant riches. A wise man is strong, yea, a man of knowledge increases strength. 27th verse. Prepare thy work without, and make it fit for thyself in the field, and afterward build thine house. This is Luke 14:28. For which of you intending to build a tower sitteth not down first and counteth the cost, whether he has sufficient to finish? Lest happily afterward he hath laid the foundation, and is not able to finish it, all that behold it begin to mock him, saying, This man began to build and was not able to finish. Or what king goeth out to war against another king, sitteth not down first and counseleth whether he be able with 10,000 to meet him, and committeth against him with 20,000? Or else,
yeah, right. So you gotta have proper counsel, right? And you gotta basically read that again. Read that again.
Or what king going to make war against another king sitteth not down first and counseleth whether he be able with 10,000?
Yeah, that's called preparation. You know, you gotta prepare yourself for all things, man. You know, a wise king is not gonna send 5,000 men to go fight 30. That's not, you know. They gotta be prepared. First of all, you know.
So
when we have the preparation, the elders have set the way for us to prepare to deal with the situations. That's why going out in the highways and byways is so important, because that's the main experience, man. When you're dealing with different people, okay? And that's where you show your strengths that the Lord has given you. That's where you exercise them gifts, mainly.
So 1 Peter 2:15 says, Study to show thyself approved unto the power.
Perfect scripture.
A workman that needeth not to be ashamed.
A workman that needeth not to be ashamed, man. A workman that needeth not to be ashamed. Studying. And consistent study. As much time as you can possibly put into this thing. This is the main priority. This is the main priority. Learning this truth, learning these precepts, so you can teach other men also. Alright? You don't want to go out there looking like a damn fool. That's what the brother was reading in that last precept, man.
Yeah.
Because these guys out here that, you know, the elders always go into how, you know, they go back to the 1992 notebooks and start, you know, they look like a bunch of damn clowns, man, because they don't really have the truth. They never were grounded, and they never, they're the workmen that never finished.
Yeah. People looked at them, well, we the people, we started, we mocking them,
you know? So and if you can't finish the work, man, what the Lord say? Any man that putteth forth his hand to the plow and looking back is not fit for the kingdom. So the Most High is going to destroy your ass on this side, man.
Well, it goes in the 34th verse, Luke 14:34. Salt is good, but if the salt has lost its savor, wherewith shall it be seasoned? That's the niggas that fell off, you know? No savor. First Timothy 2:15, it says, study to show thyself approved unto the power, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth.
Rightly dividing the word of truth. You know, so we go into all topics that whether a question arise or, you know, within our own time, we go through the different topics, man. When we're on the highways and byways, we hit all the topics that, you know, the Spirit, you know, allows us to. You know, we get into everything. You know, we're not just going out there just to talk a whole bunch of nonsense, man. We're out there to do a job, whether anybody's listening or not. The angels are still watching. The Lord is still tuning in. So we got to be a workman that needs not to be ashamed. Those men are going to be ashamed, okay, when they're being put in a concentration camp. All right? Because they turn their back on the Lord. By not enduring and staying in this thing.
It's 1 Peter 2:1. Wherefore, laying aside all malice and all guile and hypocrisies and envies and all evil speakings, as newborn babes.
As newborn babes, meaning what? Born again, renewing the spirit of your mind, right? Because you need to literally forget everything that you learned prior to learning these precepts, learning who Jacob is, learning who Esau is, learning who you are, what tribe you're from. Right? That's becoming a babe. You basically gotta look at things from a new perspective. That can only be done if, you know, you doing all the things that are required of you. You know, rehearsing righteous acts, you know, fearing the Lord, getting wisdom. Okay?
As newborn babes, desiring the sincere milk of the word, that you may grow.
Yep, desiring the sincere milk of the word that you may grow. Right? Like, not a lot of people understand, and this is basic, you know, for us, you know, should be basic for them too. For example, to actually teach how we teach, which the scriptures tell you in Isaiah, precept upon precept, they actually got an issue with that. Oh, read the whole thing. Read the whole thing. This is not a novel, man. You can read it for the chapter edification, but for certain points, you only need precept upon precept. That's how you're supposed to teach. That's the way you deal in the scriptures, man. The elders always bring that out, man. It's the first thing I learned. It's one of the very, very, very first basic things I learned. The only thing that I said was, yeah, it makes sense, because it did.
Appreciate that.
Good.
It's Isaiah 28, and I start from 7. They also have erred through wine and through strong drink, and are out of the way.
Yeah, different philosophies and doctrines, man. Shit'll poison your mind.
The priest and the prophet have erred through strong drink. They are swallowed up with wine. They are out of the way through strong drink. They err in vision. They stumble in judgment.
Yeah, they stumble in judgment. They're not right.
For all the tables are full of vomit and filthiness, so that there is no clean place. Whom shall I teach knowledge, and to whom shall he make to understand doctrine? Them that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast.
Yeah, those that can understand the basics, man. Such as teaching precept upon precept.
Yeah, that's basic. You know?
And that's the most basic thing I think.
If you're trying to prove a point, you're not going to read the whole chapter a lot of times. You know, sometimes you're going to the point because within one chapter, within one verse, the subject can change.
Yeah, several different points.
Yeah, the subject can change within the same verse.
Right, and then they'll take it because you couldn't read it back to back, and they act like, oh, there's something in there that we're trying to hide. We ain't trying to hide nothing. We're just trying to make one point so you can settle the hell down. You know, because you're jumping points. That's what 2/3 does, man. They what did that say? You know, they try to throw you off and jump and stuff.
Jump different subjects.
Yeah, jump different subjects.
You on one subject, they want to be.
And then you got to try to go in and break that down. They ain't even ready for that. It's like Paul said. You know, I teach you carnal things. You still